Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be changing the suspension on my van. So if you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're not, please subscribe, like my channel, follow me for some more videos. I'm going to be fitting the Stance Plus kit. Right, so you join me, the wheel's off, okay? It's jacked up. I've also got like a tripod thingy, whatever they're called, no idea. Axle stand, that's the one. So, I'm not a mechanic. If you're watching this video and you think I'm a professional, thanks. I literally, this is not my day job, it's just something I'm interested in. And I just wanted to share what I'm doing with you guys really, and hopefully some of you may learn bits, I don't know. So I don't know what stuff's called, but it's kind of like I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So the first thing I'm going to try and do is I'm going to undo this nut here, and I believe I've got to put an Allen key in there at the same time, so I'm going to be doing that. And then I'm going to get all of these little bits off. I think these are like, that's the ABS line, yeah, that's something to do with my brakes. So I'm going to mount the camera up and I'm going to get started, and I'll kind of like fast forward through with a bit of music and all that sort of stuff, and then when I stop and pause and chat, it's probably because I'm knackered. I'm going to try and do it in 2 hours. Alright, see you in a sec. Alright, that's cool. So I managed to get that nut off. That nut's come off, but I haven't managed to push that through yet, so I'm going to do that in a mo. Not a massive issue, I don't think yet, but we'll get to that. Right, so what I believe I'm going to do now is undo the 2 spline bolts underneath here and take this big nut out here. So I'm going to pop these bad boys off. They just pull off there, and the brake line comes off there too. Next step is to get down under here. Okay, so I've released the bottom ball joint, which is just here. I've also undone the 2 nuts which are under the bottom here. I don't even know what they're called, but there's 2 either side of this. And I've also loosened off this in here, because what I need to do now is knock the drive shaft through so I can pull this off. Next step for me is to release this panel. But to do that I'm going to have to take off the 2 wiper blades first, and then this should just pop out. As you can see here, there's a little channel underneath the window glass, and that'll just literally pop off. So that's the next step for me. Okay, whilst doing this, I took the nuts off here. I believe they're like a 12mm or something, but that's not really the point. I couldn't get them off, so, and then I was over here and I noticed there's an access panel that's underneath this. So it's a Torx screw here and another Torx here, and then all I've got to do now is just pop off this cap cover for the suspension mount, and then I'm going to just get my spanner in on the bottom. It's a bit dark in there actually, but I'm going to get a spanner in on this part, and then I'm going to get my Allen key through into the top bit. So I'm going to get that sorted and I'll be back with you. I'm going to show you what I've been up to so far. So I've released this nut. I'm obviously not filming out whilst I'm doing it, just because there's too many swear words going on, which is, got to keep it kid friendly. And then what I've done also is remove the 2 bolts around the back here that hold the suspension strut in. I've loosened off the top mount, which you'll find in here. I've loosened that one off, and now all I'm trying to do is get the drive shaft out, so that I can turn all of this round to release these bad boys and then to be able to just drop that down. So it's fun. Got a mega sweat on, but I'm enjoying myself. So I'll check back with you in a few minutes and then give you a little update. So I've got a little bit carried away, but I'll bring you up to date with what's been happening. So I've got the drive shaft out. I managed to get the old strut out. I've got the new ones in. I've just got a little, I've obviously just put a tiny nut on the top there just to hold it in place ever so slightly so I can concentrate on down here, because once I've got this set up, once I've got this back on here and tightened up and what have you, I'll be good to carry on. But it's taken me a while. I'm new to this, I'm not a mechanic, hence why I'm not particularly showing you what I'm actually doing, but I am doing it. I'm messy as fuck. There's no one else here. I'll show you my little workshop, got tools everywhere, you know, happy days. Got a cheeky little Haynes manual. But yeah, so I'm gonna carry on and I'll bring you up to speed again in a mo. Okay, so I'm back on the second wheel, but I just thought or the second side, just thought I'd bring you up to date with what's going on so you can have a look again to see what's happening. So first thing I'm going to do is take off this bolt here, which is the whatever this bar is. See, I'm not a mechanic, but I'm going to take off that one, and then I'm just going to release all of the cables for the sensor and the brake line. Then I'm going to go around this side and try and tackle the ball joint. I have to say the one on the other side was an absolute nightmare, and at that stage I'll then get back to you. So I'm going to hopefully show you a more detailed look at this side. So I've got an axle underneath there, on I believe the subframe. I think it's the subframe. And then I've just got my jack in there, just literally like just, so it's not taking any weight really. So this is the stage I'm at. I've managed to loosen that off, but then I come into a bit of a problem where I can't actually undo that anymore. Now I believe there's an Allen key that goes underneath, but I feel it's quite seized. So I'm just going to sort of lube it up a bit. And then I'm going to leave it for a while. In the meantime, I'm going to come under here and release the two Torx screws either side of the ball hub at the bottom. I think it's the ball hub, but anyway, I'm going to release those two nuts, and then I shall be attempting to knock in the drive shaft, which I've already undone, so I can remove the drive shaft so I can get a bit better at this, hopefully get access to that. My cable's already off, so this is the braking sensors, or the sensor for the brakes, ABS. This is your brake line hose, and this is already a tiny bit undone as well, ready to get started. So I shall carry on and I shall be with you momentarily. Over and out. So I had a few problems so far with this. Now what's happened is I've undone that, and as it's popped up, I think it might have jammed in the threads. So I'm going to try and somehow clamp this back in so I can try and get rid of undo the bolt completely. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet, but I shall work it out and I'll get back to you in a bit. But this is stopping me from doing anything at the moment, so I'll keep you updated on that and let you know how I got round this in a mo. So I thought I'd show you this. I'm going to try that. Basically I've reversed it to try and clamp this ball joint at the top, and I'm just going to properly go for it. But you can see it's loose, it wants to come out, but I just got to get this nut off, and then we're home free. So what I'm doing now is just undoing the strut bolts for a minute. This down here is proving to be an absolute nightmare. So I've just called a mate who knows a bit more about stuff like this than I do, and he will be here shortly to give me a hand and try and get the bolts out. Good times, eh? Right. So, believe it or not, I'm not a mechanic at all. A little bit mechanically minded, I suppose. I quite enjoy a bit of practical stuff. But this is, bar that bolt down there, quite an easy job, really. But obviously if that bolt doesn't come out, I think I'm gonna be pretty, excuse the language, better put a beep on that bit. But I'm tired, I'm grumpy, and I just want the thing to come off. Good times. Catch you in a mo. Air gun on hand. I guess it's give this a go. So for the driver's side, I am going to try and see if I can access the top mount from through this tiny gap here. Now, I get there's not going to be a lot of space, but it would be pretty good if I could get in there. So I'm going to try and get this piece out without damaging the panel at the top, and we'll go from there. Really, what I don't want to be doing time-wise and effort-wise is having to take the airbox out. Now, you can take the scuttle panel out, but as I said earlier on, I literally cannot get them bastards. I literally cannot get them guys undone. So I'm going to have to go with my gut and have a go at trying to go through that little gap there, which might be doable. I mean, I can, you know, I need to move this out of the way first. But yeah, so we'll see how we get on, and we'll get back to you in a mo. Yeah, so, I mean, that is quite tight. I mean, crikey. Almost got stuff living in here. Get rid of that. Nice cable, something. So that's released the top mount itself in there. So I will try and go that way. Whether it will work or not, I don't know. It's just the access and the leverage I'll have, but I mean, we shall see. Right, so I'm going to get back down underneath the van, and I will show you what I'm doing in a moment. The front end is done. Sorry I didn't film much. I have to admit, that job isn't for the faint-hearted. All my bolts were rusty. I haven't finished. The wheels are on so I can move it out of the work shed, but I've got to get new drop links on there. And I haven't even done the back yet. But I have to say, if I just move back, once the back end goes down, she's going to be pretty low, actually. I like it a lot. So yeah, I'm back on. Going to get the back end side, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I'll try and get a bit more footage, but for now, I'm going to get myself set up. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to chill out for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to smash it out. So I'm about to start the back end. I'm really pleased with how the front sits. Hopefully, let's just take it down here. Hopefully once the back's lowered, the front will sort of tilt up a tiny bit at the front. So I think it might be a little bit too low for everyday driving for me, because I am thinking about getting the front splitter, but we shall see. I'm a bit disappointed about the video so far. I'm a little bit gutted. I've missed some bits out. it's been tough. It's been really hard. I've struggled with some of the bolts. They've been too rusty. I don't know what you call it. The drop link, there you go. I've got to get a new drop link on the driver's side because I had to cut one of them off because it was just literally knackered. And I tried loads of splines as well as Allen keys, because the Allen key rounded, then the spline rounded, then the next size up rounded, and so on. And it was just an absolute pig, absolute nightmare. So some of these videos on YouTube where it's like, oh, just do this bolt up and then it pops out. Well, okay, that's fair, but you must have undone it first, redone it up, and then just done it for the camera. I get that, that's fine. But so I'm going to head on to the back. I am going to try and film as much of it as possible. I believe it is a little bit easier, although fiddly to get the coil and stuff spring in, but we'll see how we get on. So I'm just going to get myself set up, and I'll set the camera up, and then I'll just try and do a bit by bit, stop go, but just while I work out what I'm doing, rather than the camera filming for 20 minutes and me not doing anything. So yeah, wish me luck. So I've found the jacking point, obviously. I knew where the jacking point was, but what I was struggling with was finding a point where I could put the axle stand in afterwards, and there's just not enough room. I had a look underneath, and everything that I want to be trying to use maybe support the van underneath. It's got something to do with the suspension that I'm about to take apart anyway. So I was a bit clueless, I think is the answer to that. My plan is to release, I don't even know if you can see it, under here there's this bolt here, is to release that, to try and take some of the weight of this on maybe my other axle stand, or in fact this pile of poo that comes free with your Volkswagen, but not on the disc, because these are prone to warp if they take too much weight. They're not designed to take the weight of the vehicle. So we're going to go for, I suppose, the hub, this bit, whatever that bit is, and just see how we get on from there, really. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen the bolts up, which could take me some time if they're rusty, and then I'll carry on letting you guys know where I get into. Right, so I am undoing this bolt at the back, and I'm not sure entirely what's going to happen to the rear. Now I get that it's under a lot of tension, but I'm not sure how much. So at the moment I'm safe, you hope, because the nut's coming off. So I've got the nut. Now this is secured, hopefully. The van's secured. This is joined to the suspension wishbone thingy majiggy. So it's just a case of knocking the bolt out. See, I knew I should have filmed that, it was epic. The bolt came out. So the nut was on this side. The bolt was, the nut was holding this on. You can see down there, literally just holding that end on. So I'll spin around under here. through there. So the nut was in there and that was just bolted on next to it. So now I've got to release there's a square nut in there. Ah, yes. Because it's this side. Oh my days. Oh, that'll be fun. Right, so that is going to take a bit of effort. It doesn't tell you that in the book. Well, actually it does, I just forgot to read it. Crikey. This has been long. This is day 2, by the way. Day 2. I won't even tell you what the time is. But it's dark outside. Right. Crack on. Nice. So I've just found out that this is kind of under tension, but not much tension. I was thinking it was just gonna spring down and hit the floor. But obviously the, whatever that is, anti-roll bar, guessing, is stopping it from springing all the way down. So I've got to actually lever this down. I think I might be able to get something in there to lever that down to release that spring. But anyway, I'm going to still just crack on and release that. So I'll get a torch. Right, I've got a torch. Now, I don't know if you can see, but up just under there, you can just catch a glimpse of it actually. That's the nut I've got to undo. And it goes through this side into a welded nut on the underside. So it's kind of square, just at the top there. So obviously can't undo that. And then that will release that. Then I can put the new one of those in and at least have half the job done. So that's the new one in. Nice and tight. She's in there. So now I've just got to try and release this. Now, it's moving a little bit, but I've just got to sort of pop it off that bottom bit. I believe is going to be the hardest part. So I'm going to try and use something to pop in here and sort of lever it down and then get the coil spring out. So I'm going to try this extendable bar and I'm probably going to sit on it because I weigh a little bit. And I'm trying to use the camera at the same time because it's just me on my own with my band. Oh. But again, it works swimmingly in videos, but in real life it's actually quite tricky. So I'm gonna again put the camera down and I'm gonna try and work out how to get it out, and then I'm gonna tell you how I did it. Because again, if I leave the camera filming, it will be filming for bloody ages. Although I could leave it filming and just get the bit. Yeah, let's do that. I'll leave it filming and get the bit with me actually getting it out. So I guess that's the top mount. That's the bottom. But in all fairness, digging that crap out of there, I'm going to be able to get a bit lower. Nice. That's hollow, man. That's weird. Right. So that's the old coil. So let me show you the size comparison. I'm just going to move that out of the way. So that's the old one and that's the new one, and I'm going to put it at its lowest setting because the front is on its lowest setting. Now I'm just going to have a look to see where this bit came from, because I kind of pulled it out, but I like that And I believe I could use it on the bottom. But I'm gonna have a look to see what's under there first, and then I'll carry on chatting. I need to go and find the other bits of rubber that flew off. So there's the old strap, damper, sorry. Here's the nut. Here's the tool I used to start it off with. It's an 18mm. And then I realised I don't have an 18mm spanner, which is, you know, as you do, happy days. So I use this for the remainder of the job, because you only have a small amount of space to work with. So before you even start the job, make sure you've got an 8mm spanner. One of those like flexi ones is pretty cool, whatever they're called, ratchet spanner thing, or a small 18mm bit. Now don't try this at home, kids, but I couldn't actually get that on properly, so I wedged on. So I kind of figured out that by using its own weight, it will push it up into place. Kind of not the best idea. So now I've got to raise this up to there, slide the bolt in, and then do the nut up on there, or the other side of that. So I'm just going to do that now and then see how we get on. But I'll leave it filming, and then I'll show you the good bits. Hopefully there won't be any bad bits. Nearly, boy. A little bit more. 2 for luck. Don't hear no scraping. And then 1. Go on, son. Oh, I don't want to have to hit it. Oh, get that nut in there, bruv. Oh, do you know what? That was a piece of piss. But then we're going to work out whether that works or not yet. Right. I'm just going to loosen old Jackie off, get that tight as hell, and I'll be back to you. Oh. Peace. That's all tight. The new, bloody hell, can't even speak. I don't know what they're called. The new dampers in there, the springs in there, and the adjusters in there, the top mounts in there. The bottom mount's a bit knackered, but I plan on doing the calipers at some point. I think I've said that in another video. So what I'll do is, when I come around to doing that, I'll change top and bottom mounts on the rear shock, because it wasn't that difficult really. If you've got a decent bar that you can pop through there, yeah, it's quite straightforward. Right, so I'm going to get the wheel, I'm going to get the wheel bolted on, then I'll let you guys watch it come down. And it's not going as low as I thought it was going to go. So what I'm going to do is go and take the handbrake off and see if she sits down lower, because I don't believe that's as low as it will go. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed in that. It's not very low. That's its lowest setting on the back. And that is its lowest setting on the front. So what I've decided to do, I'm not even going to film it, I'll just show you what happens afterwards. I'm going to jack her up, take the wheel off, take the spring out, take the adjuster out, because that'll give me another 10 mil, and then see if I can get everything to marry up a bit better. Maybe take off the bits of the top mount that's in there, like the rubber bit, maybe cut the bits off. So that again will give me a couple of mil if they're in there. And just generally have a little look at it and then see what it looks like again in a minute. And I've moved back this time. That literally only took me about 10 minutes, by the way. It's actually quite a quick job once you've done it once. I think it might go bang again. So I'm going to try and do this as slowly as possible. Here we go. Here we go. It's getting there. Let me just do the handbrake again. Oh, peeing me off, it's still not as low as the front. That is as low as the back will go, I think. And the front, she's sexy that low. Okay, so I've got the other side to sort out, and then I shall get back round to working out what to do. So I might have to make the front go higher, but that looks so cool. Looks like I've got different size wheels. Anyway, yeah, let me get the other one done and we'll bring her out in the sunlight when it's sunny and we'll have a good look at her. Well, there she is. She's done. She's back on the ground. She's looking really nice, I have to admit. I've got the height almost where I want it. I believe the back might be ever so slightly higher than the front. But she's looking really nice. I'm really pleased with how she looks. I'll just take you around the front. Front's nice and low. I do like that. And down the back side. And we'll just check out the back end as well. Sits nice and low to the ground. Really chuffed with how low she sits. But that's it. That's another video from me. So this is Tom from T-Dubs. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe, follow my channel, check me out for some more videos. I've got a video of the front splitter coming up next, which you guys can see hopefully in a few more days after this one's released. I've got the footage ready to go and I'll just get it up and sorted and you guys will see it. So yeah, thank you very much, and it's Tom from T.